must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
To stand before you as your president today is an honor. The dream for all of us together to be the ones who enjoy the riches of Malawi soil, to be the ones who make the products of our industries, to be the ones who harvest the bounties of our fields, to be the ones who are served by our taxes, and to be the ones who raise the skylines of our cities. Dr. Chilima and I accept this challenge and task. With your help, we will restore a new generation's faith in the possibility of having a government that serves.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the world. Good morning, Kenya. Good morning, America. Good morning, South America. Good morning, China. Good afternoon, Russia. Thank you very much. Wherever you are, morning or afternoon, thank you very much. In Southern Hemisphere, there are countries that are still in the morning, early morning. Also in Kenya, good morning. Thank you very much. This is Diplomatic Leaks, a show that goes behind the diplomats, behind the normal lines, and finds out what it is, what is shaping the world, what type of lessons do we learn. Diplomatic Leaks is a show that goes deeper to dig facts, to find out what is taking place in the diplomatic field, both in the United Nations, African Union, East African Community, SADC, all these countries in the world of organizations. We want to take this opportunity to thank everybody, those who have been with us, those who have been following us, continue following us. This is a show, a flagship show of this Punchline Africa television. We want to encourage you to give in your views. As I promised you, we shall be giving you our numbers. We shall create something where you can send us on our email. We want to know who wants to talk to us, to join us in the discussion. This morning, we are going to look at one particular serious, significant event, an event that took place in Malawi, in Southern Africa, in a SADC country. One president went out, a new one came. I'll give you a background from Malawi Congress Party of Kamuzu Banda to Malawi Congress Party of Chakwera. It's a very interesting read. It's a very interesting discussion this morning. And those who want to join can join us. We shall be very happy to do that. Let me introduce my panel. The panel with me is First Ladies, Miriam Ogutu, our senior anchor, investigative researcher of Punchline Africa Television in the headquarters. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Miriam.
Thank you so much, and a very good morning to you, and also a very good morning to our viewers out there.
Next is Daniel. Daniel is our investigative undercover journalist. He does some serious issues, hot ones, strong ones, tough ones, assignments. Thank you very much, Daniel. What have you discovered about Malawi?
Yes, very, very good morning, Dr. Matsanga, Miriam, and our esteemed viewers across the country, the African continent, and the world at large. A very, very good morning. And of course, in Malawi, we saw the transition of power, but we still have some contagious issues that we need to address as a people and as a continent. I believe you're going to be delving much into it. The pictures that we saw on the social media are not anything to be happy about as African people.
Thank you very much. Let's kick started. But before we kick start Malawi, I don't want to forget. One thing that we strive to get is a legacy. A renewal of a legacy of any country in Africa is the betterment of those who benefited from the renewal, from the legacy, and now are back in the legacy. What has happened in Malawi is a simple legacy. From one generation to the other, not split. And two, I want to take this opportunity to caution Professor Kamuzu that the sentiments that you write every day, we shall counter you sentence by sentence. I have countered you with your propaganda. Let's match English word by English. Shakespeare by Shakespeare. So let's go. Thank you. Viewers, Malawi presents a very significant case of an African country that is democratized. We were told, Alion with Miriam asked me this question, and I said I will answer her in this phase. Why is it that Malawi is politics is like to everybody? It's like a food. It is because Malawians are one of the second most educated people on this continent. The founding fathers of Malawi, Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda, himself, a very well-educated man. You can only compare him to Mugabe. Very well-researched, a man who believes in, not in race, but believes in delivery. A founding father like Jomo Kenyatta. A founding father like Nyerere. A founding father like Dr. Milton Obote. A founding father like Benebera. A founding father like Amira Kaburo, a founding father like Babata Fabula Lewa, a founding father like Patrice Lumumba, a founding father like Côte d'Ivoire, the President Hamke of Côte d'Ivoire, assassinated, killed, a founding father like many, Kwame Nkrumah, founding father like Jomo Kenyatta in Kenya, founding father like Kenneth Kaunda. You remember most of the problems that Africa faces, it faces the problem of ethnicity. When Chiluba took over government in Zambia, he wanted to return Dr. Kaunda to Malawi. What does that tell you? That Malawi has one of the sharpest brains in Africa. There were rumors that Mugabe came from Malawi. You have heard about it, that Mugabe himself is a Malawian. And the best brains, again, is from Malawi. Why I have brought this topic, and I want to say it, is to remind you that the history, the founding fathers always remain in spirit. They are around here with us. Kwame Nkrumah is around here with us. Jomo Kenyatta is watching us. Milton Obote is watching us. Nyerere is watching what Tanzania is going through. Obote is watching what Uganda is going through today. There are people today in Uganda who are saying, oh no, we went to the bush to liberate, to bring changes, but we have gone back to the same system. Would you believe that Malawi Congress Party, the party of Baba, the party of Dr. Hastings Kamuzu Banda, in 2020, from 1964 to today, would bounce back in power? Would you believe that? There are, of course, people in Kenya who are saying the dynasties have fallen. No. Younger men, don't mislead yourselves. The man who has returned the party. Returned is an offspring, second generation offspring of Kamuzu Banda. You can even see his English is not the normal one that Mr. Kagwe talks about.
He studied in London.
No, I'm coming. His English is not the normal one. It can make you abnormal. So, it is very important for people to know in Kenya that this Malawi situation is the revival, the renaissance of the founding fathers' dream. Kamuzu Banda, wherever he is, talked yesterday, on Saturday. He talked 100%. He said, I'm back. We've taken back Malawi. You saw the speech was punctuated with, we've taken back Malawi. We shall begin. We shall restore. R-E. We shall R-E. We shall restore the dignity of the people of Malawi. When apartheid took place, Malawi was one of the few countries in East and Central Africa that did not wholly embrace the question of ANC, of Tanzania. President Hastings Banda actually disagreed with Mandela on how to create a new South Africa. We had a lot of troubles. Some of us who had already grown at that time. Some people were training in Chakwera, Ruvuma, and the west of Tanzania. You could find Lake Malawi and Malawi. The border is there. Of course, spies were used to even infiltrate Tanzania to find out through Malawi what the liberation forces were doing in Dar es Salaam. Don't forget that is bitter history. But the good side of it all, he said the words of Hastings Banda, you'll find a lot of quotes where he said, one day you'll remember the words. That the one that you want to remove could be the best. That's what has happened in South Africa today. He brought his Malawi, this Nyasaland, from the name Nyasaland, got independence, baptized it Malawi. It remained one of the most structured on NGO, donor community funding. It depended much. He encouraged some limited civil operations. Civil society curtailed. The only civil society that could grow under Kamuzu Banda were the ones that the government authorized to grow. That's why later on, the Malawians found out that this guy who speaks so well, eloquent, when he goes out, he's liked by most African leaders. He's respected by the white. He's respected by the British. Why do we turn him into a life president? He picked the title of a life president. There were 4 or 5 life presidents on the continent of Africa. 1, Emperor Bokassa. 2, Mobutu Sese Seko. 3, Kamuzu Hastings Banda. 4, Field Marshal Idi Amin Dada. Those were life presidents. Those are the men. The wind of change arrived in Africa sometime in 1994. Was it? Things changed in Malawi. The wind of hope came into Ethiopia. Sometime we removed Mengistu Haile Mariam, overthrew him, removed him. Zenawi Matanga, Efaki, Dr. Tedros, that small thief somewhere in the World Health Organization. We were able to work out plans from London, our offices, how we are going to feed millions of troops of Tigray Liberation Front. Brothers and sisters watching me, we have gone through so many things. Some of them we can't say here. But the wind of change swept in 1994. Bakiri Muluzi, another Dr. Bakili Muluzi. Of course, Hastings Banda, a Christian, a Seventh-day Adventist, a very strong Presbyterian church, goer from Scotland, in Edinburgh, Glasgow. Most of his dedication, and most Malawians, by the way, are in Scotland. If you visit United Kingdom and you go 1,000 miles away from London to Glasgow, most of the workers, the nurses are from Malawi. So this went on. He got that background. He brought some semblance of unity, some semblance of peace, some semblance of development in a capital called Blantyre. Of course, Blantyre became the headquarters, the hub of African multiracial systems in Southern Africa. And that brought us with the life membership of a presidency that later on was removed in 1994. Miriam can take over from here, from Dr. Baluzi, Dr. Bakili Muluzi became the president of the people of Mali, created a party called United Democratic Front, which later on he was also removed on corruption. So the mistake of most of the people in Kenya who are thinking that the dynasty, Muluzi is a commoner. Let's say, call it the Kenyan style of hustler. He removed the dynasty. But guess who has brought back the same dynasty? Is Dr. Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi Congress Party. His father was part of the Congress Party. When he talked about vice presidents being mistreated, he was meaning his vice president, who was under Mutharika, who is part of the people who removed Hastings Banda with Muluzi. Dr. Muluzi's son, Epere Muluzi, became one of the founding pillars of his father's party, contested along with Mutharika, who was a foreign secretary, foreign affairs minister, who replaced Dr. Mutharika, who was the president and died of a heart attack. I have a very vivid memory. It happened when I and the Chisano were in Blantyre, in Lilongwe. We were going for a meeting. We had to leave because the president suddenly who was going to meet us. Have you ever seen such a thing that happens to you? You are waiting for the president to meet us because there was a way we wanted to get advice. Some NGOs had told us they can help in how to formulate the Uganda peace process. Chisano arranged for a meeting for us to fly in Blantyre, in Lilongwe, Malawi, only to hear after staying there for 3 days, Chisano, we said, they gave us news that you will not see the president is dead. Have you ever seen that? We came out with our suits, disorganized, with Chisano and two of my people of my delegation. Then we returned to Maputo. So when you look at that history, it gives you a background where Miriam now, I hand over the powers of interrogation. You can now take it from there. Thank you very much, viewers. Let's now get the genesis of what it is from the Malawi Congress Party of Muluzika, of Kamuzu Banda, to Malawi Congress Party of Chakwera. A dynasty returned to power. A party returned to power. Can the African parties return to power? Are African heads of state learning a lesson? Those who overthrew the old leaders, are they learning any lesson? Is President Museveni today in Uganda doing the things of 10, I think Miriam will ask me those questions. Thank you.
All right, Doctor, thank you so much for that history there on Malawi. And I think for our viewers, for those who may not understand why this is very historic for MCP party, the Malawian Congress Party, is because it was the founding party in that country, and Hastings Kamuzu Banda led through this party for a good 33 years before stepping down, before being removed in 1993. So the MSP party, maybe we get just a little bit of history about this party there in Malawi. It was formed as the successor part to the Banda Nyasaland African Congress there, as Doctor already mentioned earlier, and then known as Nyasaland under the British rule. The MCP under Hastings Banda presided over Malawi's independence in 1964, and from 1966 to 1993 was the only legal party in the country. So it was a one-party country there, and it has continued to be a major force in the country even since losing its power there. And as I mentioned there, President Hastings Banda led Malawi for 33 years through the MSP party, and then followed later by Bakili Munuzi, as Doctor has already mentioned there, through the United Democratic Front, and then later on another president came, that is Bingu Mutharika, through the Democratic Progressive Party, that is the DPP, and then later on Joyce Banda after Bingu Mutharika died. Joyce Banda, who was part of the DPP party, and then after he died, they had already separated ways, and she had formed her party, but through the Malawian laws, there's no way she would have stepped down as the deputy president. So after Bingu Mutharika died, Joyce Banda became the president there through the DPP party, and then later on Peter Mutharika came back through also the DPP party. After they fell out with Joyce Banda, she went ahead to form her own party, and then now it was taken over now by Lazarus Chakwera, who is the new president there of Malawi, and he's come back through the Malawi Congress Party, which has not been to power, Doctor, for quite a while, since the founder there left it, Banda, and now we see Lazarus Chakwera has come back through the same party there. So we shall be looking at that and why this is very important for MCP party. So, Doctor, as you mentioned there earlier, really we cannot write off a lot of these parties, especially the founding parties in this continent. We see they've continued to be under threat, and a lot of them have been distinguished. We see it is a struggle for even the party in Tanzania, Chama, the CCM party, and other parties across Africa, which are the founding parties. So really, MCP has been able to revive itself.
Thank you very much, Miriam. The post and pre-colonial political parties of Africa, namely TANU, Tanganyika African National Union, KANU, Kenya National Union, UPC, Uganda People's Congress, my party, where I belong. In case Museveni is watching and other people are watching, I am the only one who would never change to any other party. And I don't intend to. But I can cooperate with other parties, but never change to Uganda from Uganda People's Congress. I would be doing a disservice to my father if I did so. Whenever he is in the grave, if we meet down, he will kill me if I changed. I joined the Uganda People's Congress in 1968 as a member. I still have my cards, membership cards, well kept in one big briefcase. Everything, every document that this party was created for. It is unfortunate that it has some of these political parties, because independents have died. They have gone with the people. One of them that has resurrected is this one, Malawi Congress Party. One of the children of that generation. And I want people in Kenya who are celebrating so much to understand this, Miriam. I think you have seen a lot of hyper. People are saying hustle has taken. We are coming where? The party has gone back to the real people. Malawi has gone back to where Kamuzu Banda wanted.
Yes.
The values of Kamuzu Banda, of religion, religious values. The man who was talking on the microphone here yesterday, Mr. Dr. Chakwera, you could hear where we are headed. This guy will not get you on corruption charges. He's not corrupt. He's a businessman who has done his business in a clean way. Not this Fagara businessmen you see around here who have corrupted, taken Kenya's money, you know, and accumulated wealth here that they also want to become presidents. You say no. Serious people. So don't underrate the changes that have taken place in Malawi. In Malawi, the recapture of power by the second generation admirers of Kamuzu Banda means there is a lot that we miss as Africans. It teaches you a lesson, Miriam, that these old parties had value. Kanu had value in this country. Uganda People's Congress had value. The new leaders who have come in, look at the new leaders who have come in promising us 10-point program. They have gone back to torture people. What's the difference? No, you tell me what is the difference. What is the difference between a pigeonhole constitution? A pigeonhole constitution with the removal of term limit. You know, you touched me. You wanted me to come there. Obote brought a pigeonhole constitution. Museveni brought a term limit. So what is the difference? A pigeonhole constitution of 1966, 1967, that made Uganda a republic and allowed people sweeping powers of the presidency. Is there anymore? Are there no sweeping powers in the president today? Hello? The same.
And doctor, just something here, because under in Malawi's 1966 constitution established a one-party state under the Malawian Congress Party, then by Kamuzu Banda, which in turn, it has been established, controlled by Banda, consistently and ruthlessly opposed the opposition. So he was quite ruthless when it came to democracy and things like that. And as much as he is celebrated as being one of the founding fathers there in Malawi, also there's a part of history that judges him very harshly. So now this election of Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, because you see after, the MCP lost in 1993 after that referendum, and then elections were held next year, that was in 1994, it has not seen power until 26 years later. Is that enough indication on the party that perhaps the people of Malawi did not like, the leadership of what was left of the legacy of the founding father there, Banda?
Why have we gone back?
Maybe they have faith in the person of Lazarus Chakwera, not necessarily the party.
Wait.
Miriam, whatever.
Let's have another.
Yes.
Resonga, you will come in.
Yes.
Why have we gone back? Because we have found a cul-de-sac. We have found a wall. We have elected corrupt people. 3 presidents, including Joyce Banda,
Actually 4.
were all corrupt.
Yes.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. You criticize Banda for having been corrupt. The first president fell. Bakili Muluzi fell of corruption. A very corrupt man, a PhD holder who steals money. The second president, Joyce Banda, very corrupt man, woman, NGO syndrome woman. Hey, you want me to tell you?
Actually,
you have touched my nerve. Let me go.
Yes.
The man whom we are waiting to see with Chisano in Lilongwe,
we have to look
was
at
very
history.
corrupt, being Mudhariko.
Yes.
Very corrupt person. He ate everything. Hey, let's go and bring it in. Matthew, this guy here, Mudharika, the brother. Why did the brother disagree? The brother disagreed with
Banda.
Disagreed with the brother.
Yes.
They formed, he disagreed. They never saw eye
Actually,
to
the
eye.
brother wanted to leave him to succeed him, and that brought a little of a problem, and that's caused Joyce Banda to form her own party.
Let's go.
Yes.
You have asked a very good question.
And please, because it has been 26 years since MSP has been in power, so I don't know if
I'm bringing you on the road.
Yes.
Why today, 26 years, the Malawi Congress Party is the only rock and a sword. Omunyo, no ruvale. Omunyo and the rock. Because the values. What are the values? When Kanu was in power here, we had the values. Yes, there were values. We lacked one value, democracy. Do you eat democracy? Malawians are saying, do we eat democracy? Where? You people, you know what? Malawians are saying, all of you are PhD holders. Dr. Banda, Joyce Banda, Barikili Muluzi,
Yes. Muluzi.
Bingu Mutharika, Matthew Mutharika, all of you are PhD holders, but you are thieves. Hello? You are thieves. They did not elect the party. They elected it in annoyance. The people got back and said, let's read back our history. This founding father party was very good. This makeshift party, like the one of Chiluba, across the bridge, in Zambia. That's in the next Waterloo, across the bridge. People are referring to Kaunda. See, Kaunda was even better because of corruption. Kaunda never sold us to Chinese. Everybody in Lusaka looks left, he finds China. Looks right, he finds Wang. Left, Wang. Look at that. People are worried. So, Miriam, the answer here is, if you go back to very many people, most of us who schooled in that era of Obote, including President Museveni, in our country, where the post office was post office, where your school fees was paid by post office, where corruption was not tolerated, where a magistrate wears a very nice shirt, well ironed. People are thinking, these guys brought us from there and they told us this. But what has happened? If you look in most of these countries, one of the countries that you don't want even to hear the name is across in Tanzania. The CCM is struggling. You know that, it's struggling. There's huge opposition coming up for CCM. Why? Because it has not had that transition. The transition that is in Malawi. CCM is actually getting a big problem. Kanu here has had a transition. Has moved from the Kanu, for example, the Kanu of Moi, after how many years out of power? From Kibaki up to today, we are looking under 20 years, isn't it? There is a transformation. There's a transformation. People are thinking that, we tried this one, we tried that one, we tried this one. That's why party is in Kenya today. The party is in Kenya. I just a briefcase and a mini skirt. You wear them after you have taken power. You can see what Jubilee is going through now.
And Doctor, you brought in very important points there about these old parties, the founding parties across Africa. Daniel, I'll allow you to come in, and perhaps,
yes.
Before I ask this second question, I need to ask perhaps the same question I asked Dr. Matsanga there, because the Malawi Congress Party that right now has brought Lazarus Chakwera in power as we speak has not been in power since the founding, father there, Hastings Kamuzu Banda. And of course, as much as we have to look at the good things he did for Malawi, also history judges both sides. It's a double-edged sword, and it's not remembered very nicely when it comes to matters democracy, because there was one party in Malawi since it got independence in 1966 until 1993, where a referendum was carried out that allowed the country to have elections, and then in 1994 that was the end of it. So 26 years later, all this time, is it because the people of Malawi did not like that this is an indictment on Hastings Banda leadership, that they did not have confidence on him and the things he stood for, and 26 years later? Would you say that it is the MSP party really and what it stood for that has made sure Lazarus Chakwera won these elections, or the people of Malawi just have confidence in the person of Lazarus Chakwera in the absence of the party?
Yes, Miriam, thank you for that question. And I think Dr. Matsanga has already brought about a very important point regarding the parties that were formed by our founding fathers. When you look at KANU, when you look at ZANU-PF, when you look at ANC, when you look at the Malawian Congress Party, these were parties which were formed on a very, very strong foundation of democracy, development, and unity amongst their people. And of course, Miriam, if a political party does not have its foundation in the determination to advance a cause that is right and that is moral and that is not that is not for the progressive cause of the people, then that is not a political party. It's just a conspiracy to seize power. Those are the briefcase parties. Look at KANU. KANU has been there since 1963. We have had parties that have come on board ever since. We had PNU, but when you go to the grassroots right now, there's no PNU on site. We have had parties like TNA. We have had parties like a Democratic Party. We have had parties like Ford and Ford Asili. But when you go to the ground, there are no any traces of such parties on the ground. So really, it's an idea of having a very well-aligned agenda, very well-aligned policies that can outlive the founders of the party. So according to me, or what I think from where I sit, is that these people had a very, very long-term goal for their people. They had a dream that could last for decades, and that's why I joined Dr. Matsanga in the thought that at one time in the coming days, KANU will be able to bounce back and be able to reclaim power again, just like what happened in Malawi. And I think when you ask the question of maybe the MCP being out of power for 26 years, I think the founding father, the founding father of the MCP ruled for quite some time, and from my opinion, I think these people are just fatigued. And when people are fatigued, we have what we call the voter fatigue. They tend to drift towards the side of wanting to seek change. And once they go the other side, they realize this other side was much better than where they have been wandering, and the what do we call it, the wilderness that they have wandered into. So they're just coming back. They're just coming back to really realign with the
ideals of the
beginning,
fathers.
yes, of
All
their founding father.
All right.
And when you look at even America, we only have two parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And these parties have been there since time immemorial. And America is one of the most developed democracies in the world. And at one time, I remember I read somewhere in 1959, Vice President Nixon was speaking to members of California Commonwealth Club. And he was asked if he would like to see the parties undergo ideological realignment, which means that the sort that had taken place that time, that we have other parties, small parties coming up and having divergent ideas and all that. And what he replied, he said that I think it would be a great tragedy if we had our two major parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, divide and have very small fragmentation of parties and conservative liberal minds. So, and he went ahead to say that one of the attributes of the political system in America back then was to avoid generally violent swings in administration from one extreme to another. And that is what has been happening with these other small parties that were not formed at the independence time. They have been fragmenting into a very briefcase parties that only serve short-term basis. What we need is as Africa and maybe Kenya are parties which have aligned to those initial dreams of our founding fathers, parties that will serve the interests of the people at large, not just a small group of individuals like we have TIP, we have Wiper, we have ODM, we have all these other ones, the ones that Kiunjuri formed recently, parties that don't have a lot of people on board. So that is my point, Miriam.
All right, thank you. I don't know if it's a lot of people
Let
that...
me come in.
Yes.
Miriam, yes.
All right, so my next question is, just Doctor, you mentioned there, and you cited CCM, that is Chama cha Mapinduzi, which is came from TANU. They are one of the founding parties there in Tanzania, and also we've seen KANU itself here, Doctor, you've mentioned, and also Daniel, you have alluded that perhaps KANU soon will find itself back to the leadership of this country. We know KANU has been struggling. We look at a country like South Africa, African National Congress, they're the founding party there in South Africa. Is also struggling with its own challenges, and also ZANU-PF of Zimbabwe, NRM of Uganda. The list is endless. But when you look at these founding parties, Doctor, and how they operate, I don't know, they usually have an attitude of entitlement. And Dr. There mentioned earlier, rightfully, about the lack of transformation in these parties that perhaps cannot meet the emerging issues that perhaps citizens would want addressed. As much as we want to go back to the founding fathers' ideals, time has changed, and the same challenges to dealing with today perhaps are not there when these founding fathers were there and when they were having this, the dream for a country. And it appears that the leadership of these parties today have not been able to transform themselves well enough to address the issues that the countries are facing today. And also, Doctor, speak to me about the attitude of entitlement that we see a lot of times in these parties, the founding parties like CCM, like ANC, like ZANU-PF, like NRM. They feel that it's only them who can do best for a country. They feel entitled.
Thank you very much, Miriam. I want to bring one point to support or to increase volume, the added volume on what Wesonga was talking about.
Ongeza volume, yes.
Malawi under Kamuzu Banda, the economy was the only country on the African continent without any debt. Go back to history, read it. The economy of Malawi was the best. In fact, the city of Blantyre, the one that David Matsanga and others flew in, was like the heaven of Scotland. Glasgow. People, if you are on a flight, East African Airways, flight number this. British Airways, flight number this, going to Blantyre. You want to spend your weekend, extend it. I had an uncle working there. This uncle was an international auditor. He became the auditor of the East African community. Wambalie. My uncle Wambalie. May his soul, uncle, rest in peace. And my uncle is another one called John Robert. They were great minds, friends. That's how they taught me how to wear a tie, how to wear this. Through when my uncle used to work in Blantyre. But Miriam, the stories that we are getting from him only enticed me that one of these days when I have my own money, the first capital to go to was Blantyre, the economy. Why do they have entitlement? The question you have asked, the self-entitlement of Nyerere. Nyerere ruled Tanzania single-handedly. Did you know that? As much as we praise his good work which he did, you cannot come and pray about with Nyerere. In that house in Musasani, President Museveni can be a witness here. And this is a fact. He controlled the economy. He never cheated anybody. He never cheated, went to buy a house. If you look at Dr. Milton Obote's house, I swear in the name of God, where he was buried, and look at the current presidents of Africa. Look at Mobutu's empire.
Palace.
Palace, which palace? My foot.
An airstrip.
Look at Mobutu's empire. I am bringing. Look at Paul Robia empire. Look at Buhari empire. I'm bringing a point here, you see, so that our viewers can see why the word entitlement came. The only revolutionary who let us down on this journey is Robert Mugabe. The wife let us down. The wife convinced him to build a powerful, a very, you know, Miriam, you are talking of entitlement. What would happen when Sungoi becomes the landing airfield? Songa, what would happen in Kenya? You see that it, you tell me where the founding fathers of this country, there's one house near the State House, that's all.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Actually, known as a palace. Like
yes, that's it. Yes. He operated from that simple house. You go to Katundu and find, show me a landing airstrip. Where Nyenye Wajama. Nyenye, you people, don't bring this. Look, show me a landing airstrip in Katundu. Was it there? Go to Obote's home. Go to Butiama. Butiama. I was one of the few people who traveled to Butiama in that small town. I slept in a lodge that is not sleepable. Just to say final send-off to Mwalimu Julius.
And Doctor, and I totally understand and agree with what you're saying. Because,
let me finish. Entitlement. Yes. Mm-hmm. Have you seen why these leaders were entitled? They became, you see, you are building a good Dar es Salaam, a good Nairobi, a good Kampala, a good Lusaka. Then you find some people stealing. They turned them to hold on power because they couldn't see. Miriam, whom way? Haven't you seen the problem here now? Tukuje hapa. Have you seen President Uhuru Kenyatta is struggling with a legacy? Towards the end of his legacy, he's looking around, he's seeing someone building an airport. From rotten sandals to airport. Yeah, no, literally. Do you leave your country in such hands? Do you leave your country in such hands? You came with nothing. You end up with an airfield that bigger planes, Boeing 77 could run.
Concorde from Mobutu. Imagine a whole Concorde, the super jet. Yes.
Some even have an artificial leg.
The founding father can leave you there. No.
Yes.
No.
But doctor, and this is my point. Yes.
Let me finish it first. They went to bury Obote. Show me what they found at Obote's place. They had to delay. The government was embarrassed. They never wanted to give our president the colors. It's okay. It's okay. The trip is the one who brought the flag. It's okay. You never gave him the colors, but the colors are coming back to haunt you. They will come back to haunt you because the Kamuzu Banda colors have come back to haunt those who overthrew, who wanted Kamuzu Banda dead. Watch history under those leaders here in Africa. Watch. Watch. It could not be us. It could be another generation that will spring up and say, we are back. Like a Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, doctor.
Yes,
I hear you.
we are back because
yes.
Never. And then let me tell you, the leaders of today, when you are in power, you have studied political science from a good university and passed with A honors or B, not flat degrees. You know, listen to people. Never demonize the past leaders. That's why Germany has grown. Why is Germany the most developed country in Europe? Didn't they have Hitler?
But Hitler is condemned until today. I don't think anybody's celebrating Hitler.
Condemned by who? Germany is in the house condemning him.
He's condemned.
Have you ever heard of Germany? Please. They have condemned him. They have left history. They have buried him. And that is all. Does Hitler rise up again? No. Does Hitler rise
Germany
up
learned from its history, but
yes.
Hitler remains condemned.
Now you are changing the statement. They learn a lesson.
Yes, and nobody's trying to be Hitler anymore.
They have learned a lesson. Now, Malawians have learned a lesson. That they gave leadership to thieves. From Dr. Muruzi, there's a case. He died when he left a case there. Dr. Banda, this woman who used to live in Kilelechwa,
yes,
is a thief.
She lived in Nairobi.
Wait. It's a thief. This one here, the one who died of heart attack, a thief.
Bingo.
There was a scandal. This Matthew, a thief. Look at the people. Until now, the spirit arrives, comes back. One of the men who might not be directed, the deputy president, vice president there, number 2, what is his name? The one who disagreed with Mutharika. He tried, he couldn't win even votes. Have you seen that? But the party, the mother party, swung back to power. The spirit of Banda talked on Saturday. Malawi is back. Malawi with the best economy on the African continent. The standard of living in Malawi was like the standard of living in Glasgow. It bounced back. Mm-hmm. So, lessons. Miriam will direct me.
No, before you get to lessons, I think you
wanted
to...
Is there any other question you have? Because I've knocked those ones out.
No, I wanted Daniel to respond on the same. And I think you meant to say Saulos Chilima, who came together, and they both were...
Chilima came, he had to unite with the powerful party. You think Malawians are stupid? They say, you are telling them a lie wait. Before Daniel comes in, this is where we go wrong. You told people that Obote used to finish people in the Ruelo trial. And then, here we are. You don't allow a musician to make his music. What is the difference? I'm asking. What's the difference?
Doctor, we already agree. You
are CCM.
It's bogus.
You are CCM.
Yes.
Well, as we talk, one of the leaders of Chadema is in Belgium in exile. Mm-hmm. With the bullets.
And the newspaper was closed, I think 2 weeks ago, because of criticizing.
Some of the bullets are stuck in the stomach.
Yeah.